One person that you could certainly learn from, as I said before, is Phillip Simmons. He knows more about ironwork than anybody in Charleston. Well, how long have you been smithing?
I retired the other day. It was 64 years.
64 years.
Right to that, looking at that fire, and I can see you pretty good now too.
Yeah.
I look in that fire for many years.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's changed a lot. The role that Smith has played here is.
Oh, tremendous change.
And what was it like when you first started? What did the blacksmiths do when you first started working?
All
in
the
fire?
blacksmiths in repairing the farm implements and making tools, sharpening tools, bulling wagons, repairing wagons, shoeing horses, and you name them. If you had any knowledge about the Western shows and how the part the blacksmith played, and you can imagine what Charleston would look like.
Mm-hmm. And it took, you were saying there were how many smiths on the peninsula?
Right in the peninsula here between the Ashley and the Cooper River, about 15 blacksmiths, and they always busy. Right in the peninsula, not counting the plantations, because they had their own, most of the farmers, plantation side, their own blacksmith.
And so the smiths in town were doing what you were talking about. They were shoeing horses and
shoeing horses and keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much architectural work was being done then? I mean, were they staying busy building railings and gates? And
No, most of that used to come from out of town.
Whereabouts?
A lot of pieces came in here from England on this ship, and
really,
I was told.
How did you get started working on gates and railings and stuff?
The blacksmith shop was only about 2 or 3 blocks away from where I was living. And the shoemaker shop was right around the corner. The tinsmith shop was here working. And other craft shop was here. But I chose the blacksmith shop. You know why? I love action, and a lot of action was going on in the blacksmith shop. A lot of action was going on in the blacksmith shop.
Sparks and lots of noise.
And the horse kicking up, and you got to put the twist on them. And I said, that's where I want to be. And the old man hired me. After school, I got $2 a week after school. But I keep shining shoes until I got about 14. And I put down the shoe shine box, newspaper, put it down, and just start making a little thing on my own.
Do you have any idea how many pieces you have in Charleston? How many gates and railings?
Well, the one that ship out of town, and I average around 200 and something gates and fence and other pieces like benches, and I average around 200.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a big life's work there.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, you know.
Do you have any favorites? Are there ones that you like in particular?
Well, the kids in school ask that question.
Oh, do they?
So often. Mr. Simmons, all of the pieces you made, which piece you love the best? And I'm sold on the snake gate, iron gate, the bird gate, fish gate, palmetto tree, and different things like that. But I kind of sold on the simplest piece I made, the fish gate. You know why? Why? Because I took my forge up in Washington, D.C., and I made the fish gate up there, the fishing style gate. It isn't the prettiest piece, but to me, it's the most important piece, and it's the most sacrificial piece. Because I wasn't in the shop here on Lawrence Street or the other shops where I was. But I had the forge with the fire, the anvil, a hammer, an electric portable grinder right on the lawn, just like you wrote there. Doing the American Folklife Festival fair.
And you made it during the fair?
During the fair.
Wow.
Thousands of people seeing that yet day by day come by.
Yeah.
One lady, and I told what I was doing. She was a tourist there, spectator, and I told her I was making a star on fish skate, and she see the piece. And she stayed and watched it until I finished it.
Really?
When I first went into wrought iron work, those the people, by giving me a job or to make those gates, I wouldn't give nothing for those people because they took a lot of pride when you draw it up. They took a lot of pride in doing the drawing and the architectural work and give it to me. I think that's what get people in Charleston enthusiasm to use my service. And so you see, I used to be in the blacksmith shop at the age of 16. I went in there at the age of 13. But when I got the age of 16, I started helping the old man, and he started pieces and I finished it. And people would come by then, spectators, and say, "Phillip, what you going to do now?" He said, "Mr. Thomas and Howard on East Bay, he buying trucks and cars. There won't be any more horses for you to shoe. You in trouble." And they keep telling me that, but they were telling me the truth. It was just, time was just changing just that fast. And I started thinking, but I listened to them. But the old man was listening too. So one day he called me. I like to do my work on the outside of the shop in the summer, take it on the outside. And I was on the outside. He was in there to the forward working, and he heard those guys telling me the real story about the future, what's going to happen in the future. And not only that, it was changing just that fast. So then, you know what I done? After things changed, the old man called me one day and, "Come here, boy."
Come here, boy.
He said, "Don't you listen to what those guys telling you out there about the blacksmith going to become a lost art?" He said, "Don't you listen to that?" He said, "Always going to be something for the blacksmith to do." And he told me that about 50 years ago.
And he was right.
And he was right. He saw the handwriting on the wall. He saw the handwriting on the wall. And I couldn't see it. But I listened to him. It's good to listen sometime.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's good to listen sometime. So all of the other blacksmiths went away. They went off into other jobs. Some went to New York. And I was left here alone doing blacksmith work. People live around there know the old trade was still going on. But people in inner cities, and they thought the blacksmith all was out of business.
Just disappeared from the face of the earth.
Disappeared from the face of the earth.
Well, we're glad you hadn't, and we appreciate you talking to us, Mr. Simmons.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm glad I got them. I was broadside.
As we saw in our interview with Phillip Simmons, he likes to work in natural motifs, leaves and all sorts of natural motifs, but he also does beautiful geometrics. One motif you'll see over and over again in Charleston is this circular one, or a wheel of life, as we call it. We're going to show you how to make one of these and turn it into a trivet. Let's go back to the forge. And you'll use it for your reference. Okay. Now, once you've drawn all of them in full scale, decide which one you want to use for your